Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself Charlie. And before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now, Saturday night, Sunday morning, the early hours of Sunday morning, Britain had a new world champion crown in boxing. And of course, it was Sheffield's very own Dalton Smith, who probably gave one of the best performances for a British away fighter. I think certainly the best performance probably since Fury Wilder 2, I would say. You know, we've seen a lot of Brits in recent times go over to the US and basically be used as cannon fodder. But, I mean, there's been a lot of talk afterwards about top British away performances. And there's a few that spring to mind. I think Lloyd Honeyghan is probably the obvious one for the old school, I thought Khan Maidana, although Maidana wasn't American, I thought it was a great performance. Brooke Porter as well springs to mind. There's so many that I think come to mind. Fury Klitschko as well. He deserves a lot of credit for that one. When Prince Naz went over to fight Kevin Kelly. I know he didn't win the belt, but it was a great away performance. Listen, there's lots to talk about, and that's probably a separate video. But Dalton Smith is a new world champion. I thought he performed admirably because I think there's no way that was the game plan that him and his dad Grant came up with. There's no way they come up with a game plan of stand and trade with Matias. Matias is a murderous puncher. And I don't use that term lightly. We all know what's happened before. This is a guy as well who we question if he's clean or not. So for Smith to stand in the pocket, to land on him, I thought there were times where he looked like maybe the shots would have an effect and you thought, oh, he needs to start to do something here. But he does hit hard. His record suggested that. I'd questioned in my preview of the fight if Smith's record was good enough. Well, it clearly is good enough because he's won this fight in fantastic circumstances. The toppage maybe slightly early. I think, could Matias have been given a chance? Yes. But fundamentally, was Smith going to win the fight? Yes, 100%. And am I complaining? No. It's a great performance. It's a shame that not many people probably got to see it because of the broadcasting circumstances, because of the pay-per-view, because of the ticket sales. But listen, he's got the belt now, Dalton Smith, and Matchroom have got a platform, I think, with Sheffield, with Yorkshire, to build up a star. Because I've said time and time again, Yorkshire's not had a star since probably Brooke and Warrington. They've now got one. He's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. He brings people with him. He seems to be quite personable. I think there's a real platform there to build with him. That division, 140, though, is full of killers. And he is now going from the hunter to being the hunted. So many names at the top of the head. It looks like Puello's going to be next for him. That's not going to be an easy fight because he's a really tough guy. We saw him go the distance with Matias before. You've also got, of course, the T.O. Shakur winner. That will be a fight that maybe they'll look at making, especially if Shakur wins that because that's an in-house fight for Matchroom. Could they get the Sheffield fans over to New York? Maybe similar to the way they got Ricky Hatton's fans over to Vegas for Mayweather. I know it's a comparison, but that could be, where they go with it. There's also, of course, a fight that I would like to see, and that is the Adam Azim fight. Now, people will say, yeah, but what's Adam Azim done to earn the fight? Well, to be fair, he's won belts. He's won the European. He's now on fringe world level, I think it's fair to say. He's got Gustavo Lemos up next, who is a tough operator. Some people feel beat Richardson Hitchens, and then it's whoever's next after that. They could go down. It looks like they're trying to go down the IBF route with Adam Azim and get that Hitchens fight. I would just like to see it for an all-British fight for a world title. I saw some people say, yeah, but what does Azim bring to the fight? But you know what? Why not make it now or soon? Because we've had this with Brooke and Khan for years, where people were saying about, Khan was going, well, what does Kell Brook bring to the table? What does Kell Brook bring to the table? And because of boxing politics, Brook never got his world title shot. Then he did. He won the world title. And then Khan was going, whoever was avoided who, we don't know at the time. But there was all sorts. And in the end, we got the fight far too late. Neither of them were in their prime. And we all sort of went, oh, that should have happened 5 years ago or 7 years ago. I don't want that to happen with Smith-Azim. I don't want them to be 4 or 5 years' time, us going, oh, that should have happened, when Smith was a world champion. That's what I don't want. It's an all-British fight. It would get people interested. Adam Azim, obviously there's the Amir Khan comparisons with him. There's also sort of the Kell Brook comparisons with Dalton Smith being from Sheffield. I know one's United and one's Wednesday. But it's such an easily promotable fight and would get people looking. Yes, it looks like Smith's got to face Puello, but I just think no disrespect to Dalton Smith, but he's got to try. But I want him to keep hold of the belt, but it's going to be hard because there is a lot of good fighters out there. Pitbull Cruz comes to mind, Lamont Roach as well. I don't know what's going on with them two with the WBC situation because they fought for some interim belt as well over the time. Obviously, there's Richardson Hitchens as well in there. There's Tio, there's Shakur. There's loads of guys in that junior. Oh, sorry, not junior, super lightweight division are in and around that will be looking at Dalton Smith and going, yeah, I want that fight. I'd love them to just make the Smith-Azim fight because I think it's really the fight that we as British fans want to see. Get it on a card, get it at the O2 or the Co-op Live. And it probably doesn't do a stadium, but I don't really care about that at this point. I just think it's for build-up. You'd have Hearn versus Shalom, Smith-Azim. There's all sorts of narrative about who dodged who vacated. Just get it on. And I think it would sell out comfortably. And it's a good British fight. And also, Adam Azim and Dalton Smith are young enough and probably as well small enough to go off and then go and rebuild their careers, maybe even up a weight and do it again in a few years' time. Why not? That could happen. But let's not let it marinate for too long. As always, guys, let us know what you think. I think it is fantastic, though. Fantastic for Dalton Smith. He deserves so much credit for it, and I hope he does keep on the belt for as long as possible. I just want to see big fights in the UK. That's all, to be honest with you. But let us know what you think. Who should Smith face? What should Azim do? Has he earned the belt? Has he earned the shot? Probably not at the minute. I think a win over Lemos puts him in the mix, though. Let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.